So number 3 out of the 4 things you need to know when it comes to catfish feeding is how much feed should your fish consume. I hear this question every time. Farmers are always asking, what quantity of feed should I give my fish? What quantity should I feed them in the morning? What quantity should I feed them in the afternoon and evening? Farmers are asking, this kind of question. So one thing you need to know about quantity of feed is it varies. Okay, it varies on the size of the weight of the fish, and then it also varies on the temperature. When the temperature is lower, you find out that fishes tend to have slower digestion, and so they don't feed as much as when the temperature is warmer. When it's warm, they have like a faster digestion and they consume feed more. Okay, so when it comes to the size, the weight of the catfish or the stage of growth they are in, smaller fishes, the freshly hatched catfish, consume more frequently, and the quantity of feed that they consume at a time is greatly influenced by their weight. Okay, so how do you know the weight of your catfish? Assuming you've put them in the pond for some time, you don't know, you can't keep up with the weight again. You weigh them before you put them in the pond, and now after like a month you don't know how much their weight. You can take a scoop, maybe 3 different scoops at different location of your pond, weigh them and get the average weight. I've talked about how to calculate the average weight of your catfish without having to empty the pond and remove all your fish to get the average weight. I've discussed it in a video. I'll link it for you to check it out. So the quantity of feed that your fish would consume at a particular time is a function of their weight. Okay, so let's say for example a fish weighs 1 kg. One fish weighs 1 kg, is going to consume a certain percentage of that weight. Okay, so if you put about 1,000 catfish, that's you're looking at a ton. Okay, they would consume a certain percentage of 1 ton. So for fingerlings, you should look at 5% of their body weight, and when they get to post juveniles and they start growing to like 200 grams, you should look at 3%. Now you continue on 3% until they get to 500 grams. Okay, 500, 800 grams. Between 500 and 800 grams, you can now start dropping the feed for them to 2%. Remember that this calculation you're doing is for the feed they consume 24 hours a day. Okay, so you divide whatever your result is, you divide it by the number of times you're feeding them a day, and that can give you the quantity per time. Okay, it's a lot of maths going on here, but when you sit down and do the calculation, you see that everything is making sense. Now by the time your catfish are already big, they're already above 1 kg, at that time their consumption has dropped. So you should look at anything 1% of their total weight. Okay, so for fishes above 1.5 kg, you should look at feeding them 1% of their body weight a day. So follow these steps carefully and you will see that your catfish will do really well. You won't be losing feed, or you won't be overfeeding, and your results would show. Okay, the result of your effort would show in your at the end of your production cycle. So I hope this helps.